Yeah. Right about now, what's up? It's time for the real nigga roll call. Now when you hear your city or state being called, what? You put your motherfucking middle finger up in this bitch. ATL, St. Louis, Alabama, Chicago, the Carolinas, DC, Bay Area, Miami, New York, Vegas, Texas. Y'all niggas can't fuck with my niggas home. 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 Motherfuck that nigga, motherfuck that bitch. 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 Y'all niggas more flexing that, flaunting that bitch.
Yes, sir. You already know what time it is, man. We're back here to serve some more game on the ground for the hungry hounds. We just got the pound and are ready for the next rounds. With that being said, make sure y'all grab your snacks, your drinks, your weed, whatever the fuck the case may be, because we finna get right into this shit. Now, you guys can see the topic of this episode, this live, this title, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're gonna be looking at Tristan Tate's latest interview on Jack NEELS podcast. Now, this is a part 2 reaction. I started it 2 days ago, so I'm picking up on part 2. You know, it's one full fucking video, but we're doing it in multiple parts because this bitch is like, what, 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long. So, damn sure ain't got the time to sit through it and watch it in one fucking sitting, man. I wish I had that much time on my hands, but if you got that much time on your hands, man, you need to go find something to do with yourself, because ain't no way in hell you sitting around not doing shit. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this shit pulled up, and we're gonna jump right into this shit. I got my fucking snack right here, man. We got some good old Taco Bells, so we finna get right into this shit, man. 3, 2, 1, let's fucking get it. Oh shit, not even okay. There we go. Now, 3, 2, 1. Now let's fucking get it.
No, because there's no such thing as brutal rejection. Lots of women like me, lots of women don't. I've never been brutally rejected because I've never tried that hard. You know, when I first started getting famous, back when I still had Instagram, and I was platformed, Instagram DMs would get leaked. And as I said, they've been through my hard drives. I've never said anything stupid. You know, I said to girls, hey, where you from? You know, want to go out sometime? No, never in a million years. And I literally just say, okay, no problem, smiley face. And then 2 years later, when I was getting famous, they'd post it. Ha ha ha, Tristan tried to sleep with me. I'm like, yeah, but I also sent that message to 500 other girls and 400 did sleep with me. So like, I don't really care. Yeah. So there was no such thing as a brutal rejection because I was never brutally trying. I was never trying to force someone to like me who didn't. So
I guess when you're younger, maybe.
No, still, you, as a man, you always have to know when to take no for an answer. You
know? Man, right off the bat, straight up facts. Too many dudes these days. Sorry, let me finish this shit real quick. Too many dudes these days sit around and will literally get on. I'll never forget. I will never forget this dude. I heard this dude was talking to FedEx, and he said that he took this chick out to a nice dinner, took her back, watched a movie, whatever, cuddled in bed, was literally kissing this bitch's feet, trying to smash, and she still didn't do it. These dudes will kiss a bitch's feet to try and get some pussy, bro. That's how down bad these dudes are. When you don't know how to control yourself like that, then you really do become down fucking bad, bro. Down bad. So with that being said, yeah.
You know, message her twice, maybe 3 times. If there's no reply, just give up, bro. Like, and it's so it doesn't matter. Like, I've been rejected loads of times. I've tried to speak with lots of different women, certainly in person. If I see a pretty girl and I walk up to her, she's like, no, I'm not interested. It's like, okay, well, have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Like, what could possibly be brutal about it unless I was standing there insisting again and again, oh, well, you know, maybe you're just stuck up like some idiots do. You see them on the internet and they look like fools. And then she'll say, well, you know what? You're a fucking idiot who's balding and you got a crooked nose. Like they've never had to be rude to me because I know when to take the hint and to just leave. So no, there's been no brutal rejections ever.
On heartbreak, what is heartbreak
I don't know if y'all just seen that shit, but my damn sauce just shot out all of my damn pants, bro. That shit is stupid.
teach you?
Heartbreak teaches you the power of understanding that in life, things will always get better if you try to make them better. You know, I'm not going to say her name, but there were girls who I dated when you were still a baby. So let's say I was 20 years old and she was 19 years old. I was 20 years old and we broke up for whatever reasons. This particular girl got some job where she had to move to London. And I was upset about it. And now she's some 35-year-old middle-aged woman with, you know, 2 unspectacular kids and a husband who's divorced her. And I'm just like, if the heartbreak had never happened, well, I'd be that guy. I'd be with her now. I wouldn't have done all the great things that I've done. It's there. Heartbreak sucks and you do have to deal with it. And again, know when to walk away without begging or humiliating yourself, especially in this day and age of DMs and messages being recorded and stuff. And each heartbreak, like with every bad event that happens in life, sets an important marker that you eventually look back on a longer timeline, and you see the growth and the self-improvement and maybe the hypothetical scenarios that would have happened had you stayed with that person or had you not been betrayed by that person. And yeah, it serves as very important markers on a timeline. But it's only once you progress a couple years past that timeline that you could see the knowledge in it, unless you do it the wrong way and let it spiral you into down the toilet of self-destruction, in which case then you're like, oh, well, that's my life went completely wrong. So no, that's when you chose to give up. They're 2 very different things. Well, heartbreak's fantastic. I wish my heart could still be broken. That would be nice.
What made you realize a girl wasn't the one for you?
I realize now they all weren't the one, but the problem is I had to be older and smarter to get it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 19 or 20 or 21, you get your first pretty girlfriend. Oh no, she's definitely the one. She's probably not. You know, she might be by all means, but as you grow and evolve as a person, whether it be female company or male friends, as you grow and evolve as a person, you can look at what you knew about those people now, and you just think, well, that was a lucky escape, no matter how much you idolize her at the time.
Man, who the fuck are you telling, bro? This dude is speaking facts, bro. This dude is speaking facts. Fucking, I mean, there's so many people that I look back on throughout my life, and I'm just like, damn, I'm glad that fool ain't around no more. Or damn, look at where this dude's at now. Like every now and then, if you guys, you know, you got your personal social media accounts, whatever, whether it be Facebook or just whatever the fuck it is, you know, sometimes I'll be getting on my account and shit, and I see people you may know, and it's somebody that I used to know a long ass time ago. They just look raggedy as fuck, or they in jail, or they went to jail, or they went to prison and just got out, and all types of shit. And it's just like, damn, bro, like if I was still around this dude, I'd be in the same fucking situation probably. So I mean, we all, when we grow up and we look back on people that were in our lives or people that we were around and whatnot, we're just like, damn, that dude was an asshole. Or damn, what the fuck was I thinking having that dude around? You know, like we all have fucking people like that in our lives.
I may well, when I'm 45, look at women I know today and be like, how come I didn't see that this wasn't right for me? Because at 45, I'm going to be smarter than I am today, albeit probably less hair, but I'll be smarter than I am today, and I'll see it then. Nothing ever happened to me in life besides like normal girls you're hooking up with. You realize I don't need to be around this type of person. The obvious shit. If a girl takes drugs, massive red flag for me. I immediately cut people like that off. But really, it takes, if you're emotionally invested in somebody, you probably, with your current mind and your current judgment, you're only 23, think that you are correct to be emotionally involved with this person. But a 35-year-old version of you would see all her flaws. So I think it comes later. But then there's obviously massive red flags that you just cut people off for. But I never get that serious with people who have those red flags. I'm never with someone 2 years and I'm like, oh, she takes cocaine all the time. Like I either knew at the beginning and stopped talking to her, or you know, you don't stay with someone that long before you notice glaringly obvious red flags.
What does a man learn about life from women, and what does he need to learn himself?
Well, men live for women. This is the point. Men live for women in every single way. If women didn't exist on this planet, everything about my life would be different. I'd have fast cars because I like driving them. But a lot of the things that men do, a lot of the things we say, the way you dress, lots of it is about trying to attract women, trying to impress women, and trying to have women hold you in a high regard. Because if women in general hold you in a high regard, then you, as a high value man, have your pick of the best women on the planet. And there isn't a single red-blooded male out there in the world who doesn't like the idea of lots of different women being attracted to him, even if he's got his wife and he's in love and it's the first girl he's ever been with, and he's, I don't know, a Mormon or a Muslim or a Christian who's super involved. If you were to ask him, would you like to be unattractive to women or attractive to women just in general, he'd say attractive, because it raises the impression people have of his wife, for example. So there's not a single man in the world who doesn't live for women in one way or another. So they are almost every lesson you learn about life and almost everything you've done wrong can somehow be reflected back into the mirror of what do women think of this and what do women see in me because of this. So almost every lesson, I guess, if you want to be philosophical about it.
Now, you've become known as the talisman. That's how you say it? Yeah?
The talisman.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Which basically means good luck charm.
Absolutely.
You were given the name at 17 by an African man, Luke, right?
Yeah, you've done your research.
Yeah, you worked at a sandwich shop.
Mhm.
Why did he give you this name?
Because I was his good luck charm. I was very good at picking up women when I was out with him. I was 17, but I was living in England. 16 is the age when everyone starts going out and meeting partners, etc. I know some Americans will say, oh, did you meet an 18-year-old woman? She was a pedophile because you were 17. The age of consent in England was 16. So yes, when I was 17, I was going out trying to meet women, of course. And yeah, I've always thought of myself as a good person to have around in every regard. So I kind of embraced the nickname. He liked the fact that when he was out with me, picking up women easier or whatever it is. But, if you wanted to get involved in a business and you gave me 1% of the business, I'd probably benefit the business much more than the 1% you gave away because I'm involved in the project. Yeah. Whether it be a business, whether you get into a fight, whether you have any kind of problem with your wife or girlfriend and you ask me, I'm always that guy who's there for people. And I think that when you have an abrasive kind of tough guy image online, people don't see that side of me as such. But there isn't a single friend of mine or my brother or anybody who I hold in high regard who can't count on me 100% in every endeavor. Yeah. So that's why I've lent into the nickname and I still keep it to this day. It was my kickboxing name for ages just because I thought it sounded pretty cool. Yeah. But even here, it's inscribed on my cigarette case right there. You can read if you read the center bar there, Tristan the Talisman Tate.
So it'd be a good time to, Travis, do you want to grab it's just in that box right there. We have a little gift for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
About the talisman.
Beautiful.
Good old Muay Thai shorts.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Are these the right size?
Hopefully.
2XL usually fits me, but
for Norwegian kickboxing.
Cool. All right, we'll see.
It should be good.
Hopefully they fit. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Andrew say daddy on them.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. But who's your talisman?
The obvious answer would be my brother. It's somebody who I can count on 100% in all different regards. Whether I'm in jail, whether we're doing business, whether, in every single way, I can always count on him. If I asked him to do things he didn't want to do, he'd do them because I'm going. Sometimes he's going driving when I'm busy. I'll follow him in another supercar and screw my whole day off. So just because I think, what if some idiot crashes into him? Who's going to drag him out of a burning car and lose their fingers and arms doing it? Only me. So I've got to go with him. So yeah, I can always count on it.
Your bond with Andrew is evident.
And that's what people don't understand, bro. Loyalty. When it's real, true, stop down loyalty, it runs deep. It runs deep. People don't understand that, bro. As you just heard, he would fuck his whole day off just to go follow him in case some shit happened to his brother. That's loyalty right there, brother. That's like white on paper type shit.
Was there a specific moment that solidified your relationship with your brother?
Boring answer, no. I can't think of one. We've just always been like this. And I didn't know how abnormal it was until we got famous.
Yeah.
I didn't know how unusual it was, which is mind-blowing, I think. You know, if you got a brother, why not stick together? And I always found it very normal my entire life. And a lot of my friends didn't have brothers. I've been very close to a lot of my friends for many years, even the people who are now here working with me in Romania. These are dudes I've known 20, 21 years because I stick around the same people. But I think it's that sense of old school loyalty that me and my brother have that's been extended onto my larger friend group. And nobody makes it into my friendship group unless that's someone who I know I can count on 100% too. So no, there's no real specific moment. It's just always been that way. And I can't explain why it is. I think that if you have a pair of brothers who aren't close and they aren't working together and they aren't best friends, I feel like they owe the world an explanation as to why that is.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain why I'm close to my brother. I don't think that's the right question. I'm speaking about new think here, and I'm speaking about how society's changed. You know, I feel like if you were to go back in time 100 years, I'm like, oh, you two are brothers here. Yeah, we're brothers. We work in the same, we're both cobblers. We make shoes together in the same shoe shop. Very normal. But now people look at it like it's abnormal.
Yeah, it's
like,
fascinating how much backlash you get.
Yeah, why are you and Andrew so close? Why do you live together? You're both full grown men. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Why does it matter who lives with their brother and who don't? You know what I'm saying? Everybody who sits around and criticizes you for sticking with your family and shit is just mad as fuck because they don't have family that's like that. You know, family could be blood or not blood. It don't matter. But they don't have no type of family that's like that. So anybody that sits around and criticizes, if anybody out there who's listening to this shit right now, if you close with people like that and they close with you and you tight-knit group, tight-knit people, 100% ride or die, stomp down for each other. And people criticize you for that shit is because they never had that shit growing up and they're jealous of you. That's all that is. They never had that shit growing up and they're jealous of you. Just remember that, bro. Like, there is no shame in having and holding a tight-knit group of a few people that all rock with each other and all stomp down, ride or die for each other. There's no shame in that because shit is hard to find nowadays. Society shames what's good and praises what's bad. Just remember that. Society shames what's good and praises what's bad.
Like, that's just none of your business. I like living with my brother. And if you have a brother who you detest or you're not close with, I feel like that's something that you need to explain to everybody, more so than I need to explain being friends with him. I don't get why that is such a pertinent question that everyone's curious about. And it goes to show how society is fucked because it's so unusual. It shouldn't be that way. Every brother should be like us. And it shouldn't even be a question that you find interesting, but you do because of the state of the world.
So going back to your childhood, you and your brother lived in a homeless shelter in England, right? Can you tell me about that? I haven't heard you speak about that much in interviews.
Yeah, so we moved to the United Kingdom. We had no money, obviously. My family had no money. My father, really no fault of his own. He was fucked over by the American military. One of the reasons why I give a lot of money and time, because people say, "Oh, you always talk about the charity you do." No, I don't. No, I don't. A few of the stories on Twitter where I'll say, "Let me help this guy out," they make it into the public. But all the time behind the scenes, I'm trying to help people out, whether it be financially or just with someone to talk to. But I care a lot about veterans in the United States and veteran healthcare because my dad was screwed over by the American military. And if the VA health system wasn't so fucked up, he may well still be alive today.
Man, dude, that's another thing. America got to take better care of of its veterans, bro. Like, that's no lie. No lie. Which is why we need Trump back in office, because if fucking Kamala gets back in office, she's gonna fuck everything over 100 times worse than what it already is. So make sure you go vote for Trump because he'll get our veterans right. That's 100% facts.
So
can you tell me about that a bit? How was he screwed over exactly?
So it's essentially in 45 seconds, the way he was screwed over and the way I know he was screwed over is this. He was essentially given an honorable discharge and said, "Here, we think you have a personality disorder. So you're not allowed to have your security clearance. And instead of saying okay and taking the 50 grand a year, the good salary they offered him, he said, no, I'm not signing a piece of paper saying I'm crazy. Fuck you. So he fought and fought and fought, lost all the family's money by the time I was 2. So I never remember having any money. Went flat broke, went into debt, trying to get his job back in the military. And it never worked. I mean, it was this crusade he was on his whole life, and it never ever worked. And the biggest middle finger he ever got from the American military is about 4 years before he died. He said, look, 4 years before he died, me and Andrew didn't have much money. He says, you know what, guys, if I sign these papers, these honorable discharge papers, I'm back paid for all the money they owe me. So 750,000 American dollars, whatever it is, I'm back paid if I sign their papers. So he went into the VA center and said, you know what? Fuck it, I'll sign your stupid papers. They went, no, you know what, Emery, you actually think you're mentally sound. That was a mistake. Get out. So they screwed him over.
Wow.
So
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's fucking wild.
that's the reason my family had no money, because he was a man who did his very best. He played chess. He made some money playing chess. But I moved to England with my mother, who's British, and he stayed in the United States trying to reestablish his career. In hindsight, it didn't work. If I could go back in time, I'd say, don't chase this dragon. It's not going to work for you. But I was a kid at the time. He did the best that he thought he did the best that he knew at the time, and he tried his best to get his career back. So yeah, when I moved to England, I was flat broke. And as I progress in wealth and power and influence and make the friends I need to and get the connections I need to, I will have my father's military record cleaned. That's on my to-do list. I will have you say that you fucked him over and you shouldn't have discharged him. Somebody is one day going to sign a paper saying that, apologizing for what they did to him. One day.
So tell me about the homeless shelter. How long were you guys in there? Was it you and Andrew? Was it your sister there?
Me, Andrew, my mother, and my sister. And it was essentially a 5-bedroom house with 2 joint kitchens, but every bedroom was independently occupied by either a homeless family or homeless people. There was no homeless individual men there because they kept the women and kids away from homeless dudes. But yeah, it was very strange. Like, you'd go to school, you'd stay over at your friend's house one weekend. He'd be like, I'll come to your house next weekend. And then my mom would have to explain to his mom, look, he can't come over. We live in this homeless shelter. But
was this in Luton?
Yeah, in Luton.
How many years were you guys in there for?
Almost 2.
2 years.
I think. Almost 2. I was aged maybe 9 to 11, something like that.
Do you have any interesting memories or experiences living in that shelter?
No, but it's one of the reasons I like to help people out.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like to help people out as much as I can. I mean, I'm always on the GoFundMe's and all these pages, just randomly dropping thousands of dollars to a bunch of different people. Because I remember when, I remember going to school specifically in the run up to Christmas, where you had this in America too, where you'd bring in cans of food and stuff for the less fortunate. And I remember doing that when I lived in the United States. And then I remember being in the homeless shelter, and Christmas would come around and these vans would show up saying, well, here's the food for the less fortunate. I was like, fuck, am I one of those people now? Like, it didn't hit as hard as I guess it would now, being as wealthy as I was. If I found myself where I was in a homeless shelter with my kids, it would be much more of a culture shock. But when you're a kid, I just moved country.
That's crazy, man. Being on both sides of the fucking river like that, when you go from having shit to not having shit, it makes you feel like you ain't even fucking alive, bro. It makes you feel like you don't matter. And I mean, of course you don't fucking matter. Nobody cares about you when you're broke. But it just makes you feel like even less and less and less of a human being when you ain't got shit and you're always having to depend on other people to give you shit. And sorry, I'm fighting hiccups right now. But it makes you feel like even less of a human being when you're having to fucking depend on other people to give you shit. It's just crazy, dog. It's crazy, 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 crazy.
My brain was all over the place. I never really adjusted to how unusual it was until I was much older. And even throughout that time, I always had my brother. We always had each other's backs. Like, it was, in hindsight, it was fine. Nothing bad happened to me. There are people who are victims of the system, people who are, let's say, who have no parents, orphans, people in less fortunate positions than I was, who end up hooked on drugs at an early age because their foster parents give it to them, sexually assaulted. There's terrible things that happen to people. And I've always not been able to feel sorry for myself ever, because I understand and have always understood how much worse so many other people in the world have it. So the homeless shelter year is cool. Yeah, that's not ideal. It wasn't great. But there are people who are perfectly functioning normal adults right now who got over traumas far worse than I've been through. People got raped by foster parents, etc., and passed around from home to home to home. Bad shit happens to people all the time. So the homeless shelter was interesting, and I'm glad that I lived there for a while, because now when I say I come from the very bottom and I made it to the very top, I can now say very bottom. If I'd never been in the homeless shelter, not quite, So it's part of my story.
Back to school. Do you know what your GPA was in school?
You don't have a GPA in English school. I started losing interest in school at about age 14. So I was a straight A student in America. My dad had very high standards on us. I was a straight A student in what England calls junior school. And throughout high school, I was a straight A student. And in the run up to the final exams, which happened when I'm one of the younger ones in the year, should be 16. I would be about 15 and a half when I finished formal education. The last year and a half of school, quite frankly, I got bored of school, and I was taking a lot of time off, just hanging out with my friends away from school.
It wasn't challenging, or you weren't interested?
I wasn't interested. School was never challenging for me. I never found any of it challenging. Even when my absence became quite more well known, I guess, to my teachers, they were like, "Tristan, why aren't you showing up at school? You're the kid who gets everything right." I was just like, So I had a couple friends I used to, hang around with, but I was also trying to make money. I was selling pirated video games. And I've said this on a podcast before. This is the only illegal business I've ever run. I would copy video game discs and music discs and sell them at school. And it's like, it's time to go to math class. I'm like, no, well, fuck math. I can make 10 pounds, So I kind of lost interest in school towards the end of it. And when school was over and I was working, making money, there was nothing I loved more than reading books and learning new things. I just found the school system boring as hell. And me and my friend, I'll say their names because fuck them. I had this female friend named Mia and this male friend named Mark. And we just used to in English, it's called bunk off school or play truancy or whatever you want to call it in the United States, and just do whatever we wanted. I'd lost interest in the educational system. And maybe that's why I'm so disenfranchised with it today. Like if I'm a straight A student, very good chess player, I played the violin, I played the guitar at a very high level back then. If you can make me lose interest in education, then what the fuck are we doing? Because kids can sit and watch movies all day. Kids can sit on TikTok for 6 hours a day. But when they're in school and they're misbehaving, they're like, oh, well, they have attention deficit disorder. No, this is just boring. And we need to do better to keep people engaged. And I finished school at 15 and a half years of age. I don't have any higher education than that. But I have probably close to 200 employees who have university degrees. So,
did you guys get in trouble a lot in school?
No, not really. Not really. I got caught selling my illegal CDs and stuff by teachers and stuff. That's a slap on the wrist. But I guess today, the world's getting much worse. We used to get into a few fist fights, but very normal stuff. I was never in school. I was never disrespectful to teachers. I never misbehaved in school. I was the nerd until I started doing the only thing that I shouldn't have been doing, which was taking time off school that I wasn't allowed to have. That was the only thing that I ever did wrong.
What was your favorite subject in school?
I liked the sciences, chemistry, biology. I always found that very interesting.
Not history.
Physics.
Interesting.
No, but I think
that's funny. I was just thinking the same shit. I thought this dude was going to say history class.
it's down to the quality of teachers. It's down to the quality of teachers, because I don't see, now that you ask that, because everyone knows I love reading history books and studying history. Now that you ask that, I don't remember what my history teacher's name was, which is wild. Because I remember my science teacher. I've said on another podcast, he was some Malaysian guy named Mr. Suba Singh was his name. Very interesting teacher, very engaging. Listened to everything he said. And I loved that class, never missed it. I don't remember what my history teacher's name was, because he must have just been so fucking dull that I thought, I'm not coming here anymore.
Yeah.
Then I'll just do it after I finish school. I'll read history books all day and I'll be fascinated by it, to the point where I'm up at 5 a.m. and I work at 7. I think, oh, fuck, I haven't slept. But actually being in school, I must have found it dull because I don't know my teacher's name.
That's the importance of things like the real world. A lot of people claim that you can find the information for free online, but I claim I've been in the real world. I've gone
Fuck
through
me.
some of the stuff.
Mhm.
Like the teachers are actually interesting and engaging. And
Well-
like you edit the videos to be curated to where it's like good to watch.
Well, that's the point. And it's very easy to write slanderous, stupid attacks on my brother and I. But let's say you have a degree in business. Can I not find all that information online?
True.
If you have a degree in physics, could I not find all of that information online? Yes or no? Could I not read about how the Higgs boson particle works on Wikipedia as opposed to studying in a lecture hall? Yes, I could. All of the information for every degree is online.
It's like,
All of them.
Why don't we
Man.
just give kids
Yeah.
books?
Yeah.
Why do they even need teachers?
Exactly.
Because there's something about a good mentor that speaks well. Yeah.
Exactly. It's about the delivery of the information. So if you take just one of the campuses of the real world, let's say where they teach people to run like Amazon web stores, etc. Sure, you could probably find how Amazon web stores work online, but that's very different than a man who makes millions of dollars a year running Amazon web stores telling you how to do this. You know,
And you
It's
can
a-
chat with other people.
it's a
learning about the
very
same
different
thing. Yeah.
delivery vehicle. In fact, I will prove to you conclusively that the real world is a fantastic product right now. Let's pretend you hate me. Okay. I don't know if you do or not. You hate me. You're going to act as though you hate me for 30 seconds.
Okay.
So you hate me. I'm Tristan Tate, human trafficker, misogynist. You hate me. Yes?
Yeah.
Why do you know who I am?
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. So the internet, I'm all over the internet. It was impossible to delete from the internet. I'm impossible to ban from the internet. So even though you hate me, I am an excellent internet marketer.
Hmm.
I must be, right? And I know you hate me and you don't want to admit it, but Andrew is arguably the most successful internet marketer that there's ever been, correct? Well, that's wonderful. Well, inside the real world, we have a campus on internet marketing. And my team, who are behind my success with our knowledge and our ideas, which catapulted us to arguably with Andrew, the #1 spot in internet marketing stardom, are teaching people how to internet market.
Hmm.
How can that possibly be a scam? Even if you hate me, you have to admit I'm a great internet marketer. Great. Well, what I know is taught inside of the real world. It's $49 a month. Hate me or not, sign up or don't. No one can, and I've sat with people who disagree with me, and they're like, "Okay, well, boys shouldn't want to be like you, so you shouldn't be teaching them that." I said, "You could sell fucking flower arrangements online and learn what I learn and make it a successful business. How is the fact that the world's most successful internet marketer and the team that helped us achieve that are teaching people how to internet marketing as one of just the many campuses?" That proves that it's a great product for $49 a month because you're learning
And
from
you're
arguably the
highly
world's best.
successful kickboxers, and highly successful chess players. It's like,
Exactly,
what
yeah.
are these guys just going to teach nonsense in
Yes.
the courses? It's like they know how to do other shit.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
even if we take all that away, my haters can't, to my face, ever say, "No, you're bad at internet marketing." They
Yeah.
can't take that away from me.
Because they know who you are.
You know what's funny? They would say that shit just to spite him. Even though they know in their head that it's fake, that it's false, they're still going to say that shit just to spite him because there are people who genuinely don't like him. Just like whatever you got going on, there's going to be people who genuinely say shit just to spite you, even though they know that it's false. Which is crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, man, with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and call it good for this part, for part 2. So with that being said, appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Tristan be speaking facts all the fucking time. You can't deny it, bro. The man's has a mind. And when you pick it apart, you start learning all these different fucking things. These different ways of looking at shit and all that. And it's just like, damn. But with that being said, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, mummies, aunties, and grannies, and everybody else y'all know. Get this outro put up. We finna bounce. Excuse me.
Hey, it was a fun tour. Going out here and all this shit all over fucking USA, and I'm done with all this shit. I'm cool off all this fucking talking shit. I got a whole team to represent. I don't want to do none of this. I never did want to do any of it. Fuck this nigga and fuck his team, bro. I'm out. I gotta go. Square up with yourself, motherfucker.